Hello there, it's Francis here from Generational Wealth Academy. Now, on today's video, I'm basically going to be showing you, one of the products that we have out there, and it's one that is going to basically generate trade alerts for you 24/7. This is a wonderful tool. I'm excited even to let you know a bit about it. Now, it's called the Traide Compass. It's called the Traide Compass. It's one of the tools, or one of the products, as it were, by EA Global, trading company, and basically, it's just been released, and I thought I would share this with you because I know it's something you might want to lay your hands on. Now, the truth is, just like myself, I'm sure there are many people out there who are very busy and don't have time to begin to analyze trades. So you want a situation whereby you're able to get an alert on your mobile phone, perhaps on your Telegram. If you do have a Telegram, well, you would have to sign up to use the Telegram anyway. A Telegram is similar to WhatsApp, just in case you don't know what Telegram is. You'll basically get an alert, telling you that there is a setup which you can trade straight away, or sometimes you might have to wait a little while before you can actually get in the trade. Now, just as you can see on my screen here, I have two trend lines, basically drawn up as a wedge. Now, for some of you, you might not know what the wedge trading strategy is. It's one of the very many successful, one of the very many high probability setups you get in forex trading. Now, you can see this was a signal that I could have taken earlier on, but I didn't. Even though I came and marked up my chart, immediately I got the alert. Now, the reason why I did not take the trade is because I don't tend to trade on bank holidays. It's bank holiday Monday here in the UK, and the trade volume could be very low. So I don't tend to trade, on bank holidays. Even though sometimes, or a number of times, your setups might still you still might end up winning the trade, but it's basically more like a 50-50 chance trading on the bank holiday with low volume in the market. So I didn't take the trade. But even as you can see, let me just take you to the alert that was sent. Now, this is my Telegram channel, or rather this is the Telegram channel for the company. Let's just show you this particular signal. This chart basically is the New Zealand dollar USD, the New Zealand dollar US dollar. Let's go back there. So the alert that was taken, basically, let me just scroll up. Let's try and find it. It came in around 5 a.m. or so. There we go. So it was for an ascending wedge. You can see it sends out signals for wedge setups only. Sometimes ascending, sometimes descending. For all pairs for all pairs as much as I know currently. So that was the signal, ascending wedge, on New Zealand dollar USD on the 15-minute time frame. If you notice, it all comes on the 15-minute time frame as well. So when such an alert comes, what you would then do is to go look at your chart, whereby you would have to actually draw up the wedge, as it were. You have to draw out the trend line. Now, never mind, even if you don't know how to draw it out yourself, we do have a training video, or some training videos on the website that shows you how to do it in a very simple way. You can see here, it's basically, let me just make this a bit larger. You can basically see here, it's more or less, just drawing the trend line, which would represent, in this case, the support, and another trend line which will represent resistance. Now, you might say, why is it cutting across the candles? Because I'm sure if you know anything about trend lines, you would know that some would say, it should not cut across candles, but the truth is, there are times when it would have to cut across candles. As a matter of fact, some people will say the best way to actually draw a trend line is to do it using a line chart. Let me just see if I can get that there for you. Let's go there. You see, this is a line chart as opposed to candlesticks like this. But let's go back to the line chart. You can see here, what I have basically done here is picked it up from one sharp edge of the line chart and joined it up to another one like so, even getting what perhaps would be the one of the best ways of drawing a trend line. And even as it is here, I basically have done it differently. But let's go back to the candlestick. You can see over here I have decided to join it up to the candle wick instead. But anyway, let's do it. Let's be consistent. Let's draw it from, let's touch the line charts as opposed to doing it differently. So you can see the bottom trend line, which is representing support, is touching the edges of the line chart, and the trend line representing resistance is touching the end of the line chart. So let's go back to candlesticks, because I prefer to trade with candlesticks really. It's only when I'm drawing trend lines that sometimes I would use the line chart. So you can see here, because it's an ascending, the alert given was for an ascending wedge. What would tend to happen, let's show you this. What would tend to happen is that you are going to expect it to break out to the downside. So what would you call the wedge? The wedge basically is these two trend lines. You can see here, from here to here it's broad, but it tapers towards it basically narrows down, as it were, and tapers towards the end. If you think of it, a wedge, a door wedge, if you have to keep the door open in your house and your office or somewhere, you put it, you stick a door wedge there. So this is like a door wedge, broad at one end and narrows or tapers towards the apex at the other end. So if it's an ascending wedge, as you can see here, because the price is going up, is ascending, then obviously it will be the case that you are expecting it more often than not that it's going to be a price drop. That's when it's an ascending wedge. So the wedge itself is ascending, but the price is going to be descending. Here, for instance, you can see the price was going down. So if you were to draw a descending wedge, the price would be going up. So even here, we're basically looking at the signal we got earlier on, on the Telegram chart, on the Telegram channel for an ascending wedge, and I came and basically drew it out, even though I did not enter the trade. But if you see, if I had entered the trade, let's say this is where it broke out decisively, where the price broke out decisively. If I had entered here, I would have gone and gotten as much as 17 pips or so. But if I decide to enter maybe here, because sometimes you might want to wait for it to retest, the point at which it broke out. But you would not always get that. That would have been the point at which it broke out. You would not always get that. So I would say most of the time to enter, where the first candle, closes. And if you want to take a second trade, because sometimes you might need to take a second trade. So this might be your first trade, and halfway through that candle could be your second entry, and you would have won both trades just like so. Now, what, the company EA Economy basically, or economy basically, well, it's pronounced economy, but it's actually spelled EA Economy or E Economy. So what the company actually recommends is that, when you enter the trade, go for 10 pips. That's what they recommend. Go for a take profit of 10 pips and a stop loss of 5 pips. So you see here, even if you had entered here and it retraced here, it only went that far before going back down, you would have won that trade. To be on the safe side, I will be trading this slightly differently because I already, do know how to trade myself. I'm not new to trading. I would not exactly, be going for 5 pips. Instead, I will be going for more than 5 pips. In this case, I'll be placing my stop loss around here, which will be 8 pips, which would make it seem like one-to-one risk. But I know because the wedge, if drawn out properly and traded properly, is a high probability trade setup. So I'll be most of the time going for one-to-one even, so I could have won that trade beautifully. Now let's look at other trades that have come in today. You can see, lots of since the early hours of the morning. That was 5 in the morning. So this was the 6th. So right from after midnight, the trades have been coming in. We do know that the signal or the robot basically sends out over 20 trades a day, over between 20 to 50 trades a day. I gather, it sends out every day. Let's look at some of the more recent trades that are alerts that have been sent out. Now, the last one was 5:15 p.m. Currently in the UK, it's about 7:30. So the last one was sent about 2 hours ago. But let's just look at, we looked at the one for ascending a while ago. So let's look for descending. So there's the descending. Okay, there's the one for descending, even as you can see, descending on the New Zealand dollar USD. Earlier on it was ascending, but now it's descending, obviously because the price has gone down. So let's just leave this. Let me show you one where I will draw out the chart, the wedge myself. Let's go back there. A descending setup. These are all ascending. These are okay. So there is a descending one on gold, and there's descending wedge pattern on Aussie New Zealand dollar. Let's look for both of them. There is the one on gold, which is descending. Okay, you can see that was sent some hours ago as well. Okay, that was sent about 7 hours ago. So it's no longer descending, it's now ascending. Even as you can see on the chart, the price is ascending. Let's look for the other one, which is Aussie dollar US dollar. Okay, there we go. Aussie dollar US dollar, even though the next one sent almost 2 hours after, showed that there was a change of direction. But let's look for Aussie dollar US dollar. Let's see the descending pattern. Aussie dollar US dollar. Okay, you can see it's ascending now, but earlier on it was descending here. Okay, let's try and trade it as a descending triangle, ignoring or pretending this has not happened. You would pick up your tool. I'm sure you can see that there for drawing trend lines. Otherwise, you can come to insert at the top of your MT4, insert lines, and go to trend line. So, okay, let's bring that down. So let's say we're going for the descending. You're going to be, picking it up from the top, as it were. So this will represent, the resistance. You pick it up again. Okay, let's use a line chart, to make it easy. Now, the fact that you have this huge drop, that kind of makes it tricky. Now, the thing is, you don't have to take every alert signal that comes your way, because some of them, obviously, because of this huge drop, might be tricky to trade or to draw out, even though you can still do it if you are experienced. I'm just doing this way, trying to pick what's going to be easy for those who are new to trading the wedge. Let's go to line chart, for instance. If you were to do that, for a descending wedge pattern, so you can see what we're doing here. We're joining the edge, or the swing low and the swing low. I suppose that's a good way to remember it. when you're going to be joining, the initial trend line is going to be from a swing high to a swing high. Let me just go to the candlestick pattern so you can see it. It's going to be a swing high to a swing high somewhere here, even though it's not too clear because of the candlesticks. And here it ideally should be a swing low. That's a swing low here to a swing low. Let's go back to the line chart. So you can see this was a swing low. That's a high. So that's a high, that's a low, high, low, high, and so forth. So in this case, it's a swing low connecting another swing low. That's for the trend line representing support. And for the one representing resistance, is a swing high to a swing high. You can see it swung from the low here, swung high, if you like, swung high there. And from this bottom bit, this low is swung high. So swing high to swing high, connecting, and connect your swing low to swing low. So that's a way to trade it. So let's go back to the candlestick chart. Now, and this is now over 15 minutes, but I'm sure you're getting good value, for your time, even on this video. So, we've just drawn a wedge. This is a descending wedge on the Aussie dollar USD. Let's go back to what we just chose. That's a descending wedge on the Aussie dollar. So the alert came, and, you will come out and draw it yourself. Like I said, this is just me doing a video which is going to go on YouTube and for my trading team. But you will see a video. I will put a link there where you can actually join and test the product out for perhaps some days, maybe a week or two, and you will watch the videos and see how it's drawn out, perhaps in a clearer way than I am doing now. Okay, let's carry on. So you can see I've drawn the wedge out there, and like I said a while ago, if it's a descending wedge, you're most likely going to get a breakout to the upside. So the wedge is descending, but the price is ascending. I'm sure you remember that. So if the wedge is descending, the price will be ascending. If the wedge is ascending, the price will be doing the opposite most of the time. So you can see there was a breakout here. So this is where we broke out. So the highest we got there was about 26 pips. Now, believe me, like I said to my team, mates yesterday, all you need perhaps is just 1 to 5 signals of 1 to 5 alerts a day, and you'll be okay. You could be, you could easily, make, something decent. I'm not even going to begin to talk about monetary values there, because we're not promising anything here. What you could actually do is just take 1 to 5 signals a day, and you'll be fine. Out of the 20 or 50 signals that come your way, all you need to do is just to take anything between 1 to 5, depending on your trading account size, and you should be okay for the day, I believe. That is obviously once you have learned how to trade this. Test it out on demo, and believe me, you will do very well. Now, what I am going to be doing is I'm going to be leaving a link, for the GTL Compass signal on Telegram, so you can begin to receive this what was it called, this signal alerts for at least maybe 2 weeks or so, or up to 30 days maybe, and test it out yourself and see what you think, and obviously decide to actually go on and subscribe to be a member of our team. Now, I have been trading for over 3 years, actively for over 3 years. I am an experienced trader. I've been exposed to trading for since 2008, over 10 years, but trading actively for 3 years. So you can be sure that I'll be able to guide you, as well as other team members who are part of our group. And that's it. If you are watching this on YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube channel and begin to get a whole lot more video tutorials. And whatever question you have regarding trading, just feel free to join our Telegram group. So I'm going to be placing 2 Telegram groups there. The Telegram group for my team my immediate team and the Telegram group for the company. Hey, you've got something good in store for you. Believe me, something good is about to happen. Anyway, 20 minutes we'll spend on the video, but I'm sure it's been good value for your time. Until next video, God bless.